Good evening, everyone. It is February 13th, 2024, and the time is now 6:30 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting of the Hope County Board of Education to order. At this time, we're going to have the invocation by Vice Chair Rosa McAllister McCray.
Father, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you. We thank you for this board. We thank you for the respect that we are gaining for one another. We thank you for our superintendent and his cabinet and directors, coordinators and the principals and the teachers, the social workers and the counselors and the TAs and the nutritionists, and the maintenance workers and the bus drivers and all the other staff that it takes to make this district move forward. We're giving you praise in advance for the victory, because the word says, when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. Show us the fruit of our labor, which is the staff rejoicing now. If they're not rejoicing, help us. Thank you for your grace and your mercy toward us. When we didn't deserve it, it was still ours for the asking. Thank you for never leaving us. God, look on our law firm and our attorney, Grace. Thank you for blessing her with the wisdom and the knowledge to keep us out of harm's way. We don't take this for granted. Look on the war in Israel and the war in Ukraine. Show yourself mighty in that arena. Lead them to safety. Now, this is our prayer, Yeshua, and we thank you for hearing us, not only hearing us, but delivering us from the snares and the traps of the enemy. Now let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be accepted in your sight, O Lord. You are my strength, and you are my Redeemer. In Yeshua's name, amen.
At this time, I'm gonna ask that a motion be made to approve the agenda for today.
Make a motion that we approve the agenda for November, February 13th, 2024.
Second.
Before we make the motion, if you can see, I meant to tell you guys, but we are actually going to ask, when you make the motion, that the part where, the personnel report, we're gonna actually do that in open session.
The vacancy report, these adopts will be done in open session.
So we can make the motion already.
Okay. I make the motion that we approve the agenda and also make an addendum to add the personnel report for today, February the 13th, 2024.
The vacancy report.
The vacancy,
Yeah.
vacancy report.
Second.
The motion has been made to amend vacancy report further down when we get to the information item. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposers? Okay, thank you. So at this time, it's the chair's report. I just want to simply say thank you to all the schools and everyone that has blessed the board with different gifts. And we really do appreciate it. And thank you guys so much. And I want to say to the board, thank you for being one of the best boards in North Carolina. Also, I want to acknowledge and ask everyone if they would pray for one of our former teachers that used to teach at West Hope Elementary in the year 2008, Mr. Donald Jones. If you would pray for his family, keep them in your prayers. He transitioned, I think, on February 4th. And we're gonna actually keep that family in prayer. As well as I wanna give, as they say, a shout out to Marsha Curl and Dr. Chad Hunt for putting together the expansion of the high school. It was an awesome event, and I know that people work behind the scenes and we don't get a chance to say thank you, but it was wonderful, and I'm thankful for all the people that came, the elected officials, and you guys did an awesome job. Thank you, teachers. Thank you, staff. Thank you, Dr. Stales. Everyone in the community for showing up every day for Hope County. We really appreciate it. And at this time, we're gonna do spotlights on success. And first, we have the National Board Certification.
Thank you, Mrs. Blue. Mrs. Harris is gonna come up and do our congratulations on national board certification. Ms. Kane.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So it is an honor and a pleasure to be able to recognize this individual for such an amazing accomplishment. She has gone through the task of being certified as a national board certified teacher. And that is not just for North Carolina, but that ranges statewide. In order to complete this task or to get this honor, one of the things is that you have to complete 4 different components. They are not easy. They are quite difficult. One of the components is where they actually have to create lesson plans and critique those lesson plans. They have to video themselves and then critique the video, which is a reflection of themselves and also making their teaching stronger, which is allowing them to go out into the classrooms and to help others in those areas. So on this afternoon, we would like to recognize Mrs. Denia Simmons from Upchurch Elementary School, who is now known as a national certified board teacher. Ms. Simmons could not be here on this evening. However, her principal, Ms. Nevada will be here to take it for her.
She's very excited and she really hated not being here this afternoon. But she did have a previous engagement with her son in college at North Carolina A&T, which is the reason why she's not here tonight. But I will definitely make sure that she gets this. She's very appreciative, and it does read, Denia Simmons, congratulations on achieving National Board Certification presented by the Hope County Board of Education, February 13th, 2024. Thank you on behalf of Upchurch.
I think he's trying to get a picture.
Oh, are you trying to get a picture of me? I'm sorry.
Just do it on
I'm sorry.
Hold on, Dr. Spells and Ms. Daniels. Get a pic, Dr. Spells and Ms. Daniels.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Southeastern Athletic Conference Women's Wrestling Coach of the Year.
Good evening. It's always a pleasure to come and share our athletic achievements with y'all. We have an excellent choice for female coach of the year in wrestling. I'd like to give a little background on the female wrestling. It was a vision of Vernon Walworth. He was the one that really started the wrestling program, the female part of the program in Hope County. And so he pushed it beyond Hope County to the state level. And to this day, I sure wish he's looking down on us to see that the North Carolina High School Athletic Association is really recognizing the female wrestlers. This weekend, they'll be wrestling for the individual state champion. This couple weekends ago, they won the team championship. They were named state champions with the team portion of the tournament. And that is really great. We had a state champion, a team state champion since 1990. And so it's a big accomplishment. We were behind Buck Alley whenever they came in, and they were tooting the horns, and everybody in Rayford should have known that we had a state champion. When the High School Athletic Association started this year, they said that female wrestling was gonna be a recognized sport. And I just smiled, and Brandon Locklear and I just smiled at each other because we had the right person to be the head coach of our female program. Rachel Borman was with the program for years, and she was working with the individual part of the wrestling program for the last couple of years. Now she stepped into the head role, and she's done a great job being the head coach of the wrestling program. But Brandon's like a little father. He's gonna follow her around, make sure she's doing the right thing. It was really a big honor, and she was named Southeastern Conference Coach of the Year for the first time that they had a conference tournament for a female, and I think that's a really great achievement. Brandon, if you'd like to come up and say a few words, that would be great. And then we'll get Rachel up here and embarrass her.
Hey, how's everybody? It's a little bit louder than I was expecting. I just to kind of give you guys an idea of kind of like the work ethic and the character of Rachel, Coach Borman. When we first started, she was the assistant coach. There was a trio of us, and Rachel was always like the finer details coach. She assured that, we're going to be where we're supposed to be on time. We're leaving where we're supposed to leave. The rosters are where they're supposed to be. Everyone's, everything that needs to be filed away and situated to the specific. She's always been that person. And Laura did a really good job of kind of highlighting those details in her as we've grown as coaches. And so as we've taken over these two programs together, she still has kind of been that person that if you guys have ever been around a wrestling program, you leave late, you get up early. She's always that person that's up at 4 a.m. when we don't have to be here till 6. She's that coach that's going to stay up till 3 a.m. when the kids went to bed at 12. She's that coach that's going to have anything that we might need on the side. Somebody's got a cut. Somebody's got a broken finger. We need parent contact information. So she's that person that's always in the know in terms of the finer details. She always makes sure that I'm where I need to be on both sides. And so we've done really well together as a unit, but she really is one of those people that you won't get to see the finer details of her work ethic, but boy, is it deep. And there's very little things that she lets slide. So even things that I might not be keen on, things that I might think aren't that big a deal, she kind of remind me why these are things that are pivotal to what we're doing. And it's really played a big part in our success as the season's gone on. So if you guys, let's just give it up for her right quick. I commend her for she's the only, from what I've experienced, she's one of 2 head coaches in the state of North Carolina. So, and she's by far the most winningest.
So it is, as it says, Rachel Borman, Female Wrestling Coach of the Year, presented by the Hope County Board of Education, February 13th, 2024. If you really want to see Rachel work, let's go to the Board of Education. And she is top notch.
Can we get Coach Lockwood?
We're sitting now.
No, excuse my comments. I forgot we had. You got a speech for it,
We'll keep things moving along.
Congratulations. Next, we will have the bus driver appreciation week, which is February the 12th.
Yes, we just want to make sure that we acknowledge our bus drivers for the great work that they do. And the bus drivers are the first people that our students see in the morning. And they set the tone for our students. And we just want you to know bus drivers, we appreciate you and appreciate everything that you do every day.
Thank you so much. At this time, we're gonna have public comment.
Sorry. I'll have 3 minutes.
I have to, I'm
So let
starting.
me know when you're ready. I won't start the clock yet.
And so turn slowly because I wanna kind of talk through that a little bit.
You're ready.
So you're gonna see that, on the left side, you'll see 2022, 2023. This is one of the students that I tutored last year at McLaughlin Elementary School. Thank you so much, I always want to say Dr. Reniger, but thank you so much for the opportunity to serve. Last school year, I taught on Saturdays, tutoring academy from 9 o'clock until 12 o'clock. And this particular child, her mom's not here tonight, but she gave me permission to talk about Layla. Layla started out, if you see on the left side, her grades, that's actually, that 2 is the grade level. So that's where she started at. And this year she's at a 5. So she's grown 2 grade levels in less than a year. She has done so well. She's answered over 7,500 questions in less than a year. And this year, during benchmark, her mom called me just so happy, ecstatic that her score was an 83 for benchmark. And she's done a lot of hard work, and she loves Saturday Tutoring Academy. And I'm so grateful to you, Mr. Reniger, for allowing me to serve. Thank you so much for opening the doors, and thank you so much for trusting me. I really appreciate you. Thank you. And so I would like to present to you, Mr. Reniger, an eagle, because you are one. It's a little ship.
That's so sweet. Thank you very much.
We want a picture. Y'all gotta hug it. We gotta hug it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. At this time, we're gonna move on. Can I get a motion for someone to approve the consent agenda for tonight?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the consent agenda for tonight. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been, a motion been made, it's been second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? If not, then next we're gonna go to information. And first we have month-to-date financial statement.
Good evening, everyone. Month to date, hope you guys are having a wonderful day, or had a wonderful day. So with the month to date, nothing has really changed. We are on target with our spending Last time we were here, we should have been at 50%, and now we're sitting at like 53 to 60% of our budgets being spent down. There has been one change. The last time I was here, we have an assistant principal intern that was at Scurlock Elementary School. She has since been moved to East Hoke Middle School, and the funds for her had not dropped. So it's still a negative on the month to date. But the funds did drop on February 6th, so that was changed. So with the next month to date, there won't be a negative. So as you know, the budget was late this year, so things are still dropping. So if you're following the month to date, you may see some subtle changes from month to month, and that's just because things are still dropping. Like right now, we're still waiting for our safety grant to drop. And with that, all of our purchase orders, because of the end of spending, we have until the end of February, all purchase orders should be made. Basically, we have to have all the money encumbered that we're gonna spend. Now, we have some PRCs that may get special privilege, and I say that because it's not gonna be that many, to be able to do a purchase order after February 28th or 29th, and that's because if the money drops so late, we can't spend it until we get it. And that's that. Any questions? I'm gonna sit over here because I'm gonna come right back up.
Anybody have any questions? If not, next we have the construction financial report.
Good evening. Mr. Barath, or John Barath, is also in line who is actually going to present the financial status or the report that we've encountered since constructing this new on-site replacement project. At this time, Mr. John Barath is our project manager for the construction project. Mr. Barath, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Madam Chair, is there a reason why we can't see Mr. John?
Mr. Barath, do you have your camera?
Is that working now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I figured you'd want to look at the data instead of me because I'm not that pretty. Every month, I'm going to present to you this form. This is a document created to track all the expenditures for this new high school addition project. This encompasses all the items that were identified in your GMP2 that the board approved. It had it broken down in various categories as far as how much to budget for it. And so that's what the first column B does, is identifies the budget value for every item. You will see that in the very top for the general contractor, being that this is Metcon joint venture with J&K, their total is $66,288,666. You'll recall that as a part of that overall cost that they submitted and the board approved, there were 3 contingency categories, one for the general construction contingency, one for design contingency, and one for owner contingency. And those are just broken out to make sure we can follow along, because unused phones revert back to you. So we want to make sure we track all that. The next categorical area is the designer, SF and LA Architects, and their contract amount along with expenditures to date. And then the next grouping is mostly a lot to do with other elements and items in the project. In the beginning, you had to do a survey. You did some geotechnical exploration. You had some geothermal testing for your system. There's material testing, which the board just approved last month. You will have a commissioning agent required as part of the building code, which we will talk to the board about coming up in the future. And then you have the project assistance management. And then you have furniture and technology. Now, the furniture, the board had already approved, and that included some casework along with all the loose furniture and equipment. And the technology and computer systems have not yet been identified and bid out. Those will be done at a later time because technology is ever changing, and you want to make sure you have the most current, advantageous to you. Then at the bottom of the sheet, you have the total project budget, $78.3 million. And then there's some funding categories after that. We have some grant funding through the public school building needs-based grant, the $50 million. And then the balance differential as identified is the county funding of the $28.4 million. NCDOT provides some funds, $50,000 towards the development of driveways for buses, as long as the school has never received that. That is something that I'm starting to work on, trying to track the history of with DOT to see if they've ever given that grant funding to you. If they had, then you would not receive it this time. But if they never have, there will be another $50,000 that'll come towards you, towards the project. So if you would scroll to the top, let me work you across the sheet. So column B is the budget that had been previously identified. Column C are the funds that have been allocated to each of those specific disciplines and items on the far left. Column D is how much has been encumbered, committed. These means that there's contracts in place, that there's purchase orders, that there's commitments of those funds. And column E is current expenditure. For the purpose of tracking to, as we talked about during the last meeting with material testing, some instances where some funds to perform the work may exceed the amount budgeted. The last column F is about the unencumbered. These are the funds that have either been allocated and encumbered, the differential between them. In most cases, they're $0. But in some, as you look down to design, print, and mail, there was a $25,000 budget, allocated $25,000. Scroll up, you just missed it. There you go. And only $1,725 has been expended and spent. So there's a unencumbered amount of just over $23,000 remaining in that item, of which probably not going to spend any more because the printing and mail and distribution of drawings is completed. Then you go down into the next category, you can see where geotechnical was originally budgeted $10,530, and that's how much was allocated to it. There was additional testing that had to be performed, which was just over $2,000 for stormwater seasonal high table calculations. And so that left a deficit of $2,400 in that category. That's why that's in red. Miscellaneous applications and fees is at $45,000. That has never been used in the project to date, and probably will not be needing to use those funds moving forward. So those could be available. And then we get to the material testing, which we talked about the last meeting, how $275,000 was the budget, and the allocation and the encumbering amount is $285,827.50, leaving a deficit of $10,800. Commissioning has not been allocated and encumbered at this time, so it just remains there until the board identifies the commissioning agent, negotiates a contract. And then down the bottom, the project assistance has $45,850 remaining unencumbered in that. The actual amount encumbered is less than the budgeted amount. All in all, there's about $110,000 of funding that is unencumbered, that is there to balance. And I talked about it last time, how we will have some areas to move some of the allocated budgeted money out of a category to make another area that's in a deficit whole to be $0. So for example, with the $10,000 in material testing, you can take $10,000 out of the project assistance, move that into that, and that will make that categorical item whole. Your furniture and equipment also exceeded the budget amount. by just under $50,000. But again, there's about $110,000 of available funds to shift so that everything balances out. And as I shared before with the board, some of the most critical elements and items that you're accomplishing with this new school, with student performance and staff, is also an on time and under budget project. And so this document will help us track that on a consistent basis to make sure you stay within and under budget. I purposely had not moved any of the funds around and proposed any of that. This is something I'll do in conjunction with Dr. Hunt and Ms. Richardson as we go through the project and the invoices and contracts. But I wanted you to see the first step in this, and when you see it next month, you'll see all those items in red zero out, and the other categories will have less money in them as unencumbered so that everything balances. A lot of information on this sheet I just rattled off, and I apologize for the rambling. I do hope you had a moment to look at this beforehand, and I hope I, through my introduction and discussion about it, may have answered the questions you may have had. I'm happy to respond to any others that you may have at this time.
Do you have any questions?
So everything in red will be black next time we get this report.
Yes, those items are red. The goal is to make them $0, so they'll balance out for that item. And I'll review where the movie moved, or pardon me, I'll review with you where the money moved from at the next month's presentation of this, so you'll know where the category was moved out, or the funds were moved out of which item to make them whole.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Durrell. Thank you, Dr. Hunt. At
Thank
this
you.
time, we will move to capital outlay survey.
Good evening again. It is just about time to start preparing our financials for, to meet with the county commissioners to start asking for the things we need to start the fiscal year 25. So capital outlay surveys have been sent out to principals and directors. We're asking that they return to us by February 23rd in preparation. After we get those back, then the superintendent, operations and maintenance will get together and they will decide which capital outlay projects take precedence. We'll try to get as many in as we can. But of course, safety is going to come first. So like I said, by sending this survey out to all the principals and directors, that's making sure that we take every building that it falls under the umbrella of Hope County Schools into account. So that's what's happening with the capital outlay. Any questions? So like this, with this will come the local budget. All that will come to you all first before we give it to the county commissioners, before we get that meeting to give it to them. So I'm just letting you know where we are with that process. Any questions? Okay.
Thank you. So next, we're gonna go to the action. The vacancy report, sorry. Ms. Dana.
Good evening again. So my task on this afternoon, this evening, is to share with you our vacancy report for the month of February. What we actually do is we provide a vacancy report each month at each board meeting so that our board members as well as others will know where our vacancies are at. So at this time, we look at it, our schools, if you look at our elementary schools, we do have several vacancies there as well. I would like to say that with our vacancy report, we did have some gains in that area. We have for Square Lake Elementary School, they did not have a music teacher, And now at this point in time, we have hired a music teacher for that area. At Sandy Grove Elementary School, at this point in time, they do not have any vacancies as far as teachers are concerned. We were able to pick up a kindergarten teacher there so that that area was filled as well. One of our biggest areas that we see that we are struggling to actually find teachers for is our EC piece. That's hard across the state. It's not just with Hope County. As we begin to start our recruiting, that is one of the areas that we're trying to hit the hardest so that we can try to get those positions filled so that our students will have the right teachers in place so that they can get the education that they deserve. As well as if you look in math is an area also that we're looking at that we need to really look hard for when we start our recruiting. We do start our recruiting as of this week, as a matter of fact. We have several different universities that we're actually going to be at. We're going to be recruiting. We're changing our strategy this year. Typically what we do is we actually get the resumes and bring them back to the principals. This year what we're doing is that as we're recruiting, if we see somebody that we possibly feel that will be a best fit, we'll call the principal right there, handing them the phone, and they're talking to that individual on the spot. Because if they hear the voice, then hopefully that they can convince the individual that this is a good place to work, and Hope County is a good place to work. So our vacancy report, again, we do update it each and every month so that we have an idea of what positions are being filled and which ones that we really need to get hardest. Yes, ma'am.
Are we doing any recruitment here like we normally do at East Oak Middle School or whatever?
Yes, ma'am. We are having a district job fair. As right now, we're saying that job fair is going to be March 16th. Yes, ma'am, March 16th. We actually are going to finalize the information with that on Monday when our team meet, and then we'll be pushing all that information out. I know that some of the flyers have already been put out, some social media pieces as well. We are going to partner we're going to partner with our community, our local businesses. We're actually going to them, giving them flyers, asking them to recruit for us. Because we all in this together. So and not only that, we might go across the line to Fayetteville and give some flyers too. So whatever we have to do to get the job done.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you so much, Ms. Davis. We wanted to put that part under information so when people watch us, maybe through Zoom or that come and visit, they will be able to see where we have some vacancies at. So thank you again for that. At this time, we're gonna go to the action items. And the first one is the bookkeeper salary.
Good evening again. At the last board meeting, this was, we discussed this was the information system. And I gave you all salaries, the current scale and the upcoming scale, if it's voted on, if it's approved tonight. If you need copies, I made copies just in case you didn't have any copies from last year. I did not post it because until it's actually accepted, I don't want to put it out there because then that gives people false hopes. So like it is, we had a company do us a salary study and they're gonna do my custodian hour. Let me stop taking them. They're gonna do our custodians also. So by fiscal year 25, all of our salary scales have to be updated. And we have to be very cautious about doing that because we're unsure if the state is gonna allot more money to actually change the salary scales. But as long as we fit in between what they say is the lowest and the highest, we should be okay. And we're looking at the salaries because I personally, and I believe everybody agrees with me, if I start today, I should not be making the same amount as somebody who's been here 20 years. So we really have to look at our salaries. So as we're doing them, we will be bringing them to you all to look at and approve. So today I'm hoping that you'll go ahead and approve the bookkeeper salary scale.
We haven't done anything with fund balance. Gone into.
For salaries?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
You said not yet?
No.
That's what we got.
Right.
Okay.
There's no questions. Thank you, Ms. Richardson. At this time, we're gonna have the Hope County high school roof repair, I think. Okay, okay. Can we get a motion on the floor for the bookkeeper salary?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to approve the bookkeeper's salary.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, it's been approved. Second, bookkeeper salary approved. So at this time, we're gonna move to the Hope County High School, roof repair. I think.
Okay. Let me just first say that my purpose for standing here is to let you all know that although this is a capital project, it doesn't have anything to do with the commissioners. And the reason I say that is because the roof on the damage on the roof was based on weather. So our insurance will take care of that. We've already gotten the green light to go ahead and fix it, but as you know, when we use the insurance, there is a $5,000 deductible. So my purpose for standing here today with this project, because this is a capital project, we will have to use $5,000 from the capital outlay fund balance. Ms. Rosa.
Okay.
Right, it's not the commissioner's capital outlay, it's the money that we have in our capital outlay bank account. So we will have to use $5,000 of that. And like I said, the total project is almost $500,000. So if they're gonna pay everything except for $5,000, then, and it's a big project, and I'm gonna stand out the way, and I'm gonna let Chad and I call them both Chad. I'm gonna let Chad and Mr. Manus explain to you about what's going on with that.
Good evening again. We've had, as Ms. Richardson said, some weather damage to the roof on the McAllister building, to include the gym area, the cafeteria, the McAllister's building that has upstairs and downstairs. And if I'm not mistaken, over on the vocational side as well. And there's been leaks that have been taking place throughout over the course of time. And it's going into these areas, in the classrooms, in the dining facility, into the gym. And so ultimately what we want to do is make sure that we get those repaired, replaced in the best accommodating just reason as possible. We want to make sure that we're having a clean and safe environment for our students and our staff members as well, which is why this proposal is here today. And so, Mr. Manus, anything that you'd like to add to that?
The damage was hail damage from the previous storm, and we started getting more leaks. Our calls from Steve about the cafeteria. He was coming around and coming down and peeling the sheetrock out, and especially the gym on our new gym floors. And over building, especially welding, dance, and.
Madam Chair, can we get that image so everybody can see what you're talking about?
So this part right here on the downside, it has already been sprayed from the previous time. So that's already got a 20-year warranty on it. But everything else that's in yellow is gonna be sprayed. And everything was leaking. All the muddy was leaking, and especially over welding right here, and the dance, and some of the band room, but most of it was automotive. Over here was leaking, started to leak too. And so a few months, when it started leaking real bad, I started getting up on the roof, and I noticed all these little, like little pellets, you know, like a shatter in the glass, and they were everywhere. And so I had 3 companies come out, and all of them verified it was hail damage, but only the same one we always use. He's the one that he gave us a price on. The other 2 couldn't handle the job. So
So I know you said there were leaks.
Mhm.
So has it been checked to see if there's any mold or anything?
So what this company does, it flies a drone across with the infrared. And so what it does is it does infrared test at nighttime, which will have to get permission, from the board. And then it'll show up in the drone report, but leaks is leaking everywhere. We're just looking, the drone and the infrared is looking for like, issues like, rotten, where it's rotten underneath the TPO roof. The roof is 24 years old. So it's been out of warranty for the last, 4 years. So it came at a good time where we'll have another 20-year warranty on it. But that's what the infrared does. Infrared scans everything, make sure it's not any rot or mold, mildew, anything like that. All this over here previously, and all the gypsum and everything on that side, I had the infrared done 2 years ago, and there was no mold or anything like that over there.
So if there is mold, is that included in the price or would the price change?
It is not included in, because that'd be more of a wear and tear. So that wouldn't be.
So that would be money, we would have additional money.
Right.
After this.
Well, we've already done an initial scan, nothing, just like when we did all of this, and that was the older side, and we didn't find anything. So hopefully it'll be true over here. And so this hasn't been leaking that long, so we shouldn't have any damage like mold or anything like that.
How long has it been leaking? What the last time we had a storm?
The storm happened, I believe it was in June. And it started, the big storms where, so that's a flat roof. So the water just stays up on a flat roof if you got any. And so that water's gonna find, if there's anywhere to find a hole, that's the least resistance, it's gonna find it. And so that's what, and if it's cold or you got all the water up there, it takes a long time. It gives it more time to find a leak, and that's what happened. We've been getting more and more leaks as the winter's been, because during the summertime, it dries up so fast. It's not really time for it to leak, but now, since it's winter time, it's sitting there and it's just filtering through. And it just happened at the right time where that roof's out and we got another. And this will be a 20-year warranty. And this company right here is the same company that have done all the other roofs in the county, and they stand behind it. And they've also done Cumberland County and Scotland County. They've done all their buildings over there at their schools.
So you're saying it was a 20-year warranty, or it's gonna be a 20-year?
It's a 20-year warranty. As soon as we sign off on it, it's a 20-year warranty. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
How often do you check the roof? Someone check the roof? How often do you check?
We usually go up there. You got drains, the drain holes in each, and we usually go up there about every 3 months quarterly. We'll do filters and stuff. And we'll go up and check, because each roof has drain holes on each building in the district. And we'll go up there and I have a crew go up there and just check them all out, see if they got any trash in and stuff. This low one right here is the worst one, because it's the lowest one in the district. But this one up here, this tall.
So Scott, you said that we had 3 different
We had 3
companies,
different
but
ones.
2 of them couldn't handle it.
One was from Rayford. I got his name right here. Amenity Roofing, and there's another roofing company called T&H. And it was just none of them spray. It's more of a replacement. And the thing to do when you get a replacement, you might as well double the money. Well, probably 2.5 times more than money. And then you got to worry about when they take that roof off, it's going to cause downtime. The kids can't be in the school because the rains, it floods the classroom. It's a mess.
So when you said a 20-year warranty, that means that every time it rains, you're gonna come out?
No, 20-year warranty it's just like on your roof at your house. If you got a shingle blow off, on this is a TPO, so if a teacher calls or principal calls and says, hey, I got a leak in my classroom. So I call the company, they come out and they fix it, for 20 years. And there's a signed contract that, we all get. That's, signed. And that's the manufacturer and the owner of the place.
Any more questions? Comments?
And like I said, the, insurance is gonna take care of everything except for the $5,000.
Thank y'all for sending
Yeah,
that.
just between TPO and a brand new roof, like a brand new roofing spray. The spray, it's just not what you think of, somebody spraying like a can or something like that, like a paint can. What they do is they pressure wash the whole roof, clean it, scrub it, clean it. And then what they do is they put a 20 mil product. So it's about 3/16 thick to a quarter inch thick on that new roof. That's why, it's thick. That way, if it hails again, anything, the storm, it'll just bounce. It's got that protective, skin on there.
Thank you for explaining, because that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Spraying it, I mean, I do roofs, so I want.
Yeah, I so let me explain it there. So,
Thank
yeah, and so the biggest thing they need, when they get out, they'll clean it and make sure it's, nice and clean.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? Comments?
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Can I have a motion to, approve the whole county high school roof? The ACI.
Madam Chair, I have a question for Grace. So do we make the motion based on the proposal or?
We have put a contract together. You're seeing the proposal, which includes the statement of work, but Chad and Mr. Manis have a proposal that includes standard terms and conditions. And we reviewed that and approved the contract, that offers protection for the district.
So my question is my motion based on the title of the whole county high school roof repair or the title of the proposal?
Roof repair.
Okay. Madam Chair, I move to approve the whole county high school roof repair.
Motion on the floor to approve the whole county high school roof repair. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposers? Thank you. At this time, can I have a motion to go into closed session?
So I move to go into closed session to prevent the disclosure of confidential personnel matters, to prevent the disclosure of confidential student matters, to consider the initial employment of individual employees, and to consult with the board attorney pursuant to North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.11 A1, A3, and A6.
Okay. Motion been made to go into closed session. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?